Welcome to the MSP Corner podcast. Before we kick off our show, we would like to share what our main objective is at the MSP Corner. Our main goal is to help CEOs build profitable and self-sustainable IT service firms. We are not just providing tools for IT firms, we will be sitting in meetings with you to ensure your IT firm stays on track. The first area we are focused on, strategic sales. IT firms are stuck selling technology or IT support. We will provide you with the blueprint so you position your firm as an added value to your prospects. We will have framework on how to sell value so you influence the prospect into selecting your firm. The second area we see many IT firms struggle in is marketing. 90+% of businesses rely on antiquated marketing methods. The most popular choice, word of mouth. We have proven methods on how to attract the ideal prospect. Our framework will include how to become the online authority and be the business influencer for an industry. The third component to our package, scaling. IT firms walk away from opportunities because they lack the bandwidth or skill set to scale. We have lined up reputable businesses so our members can hire on-demand resources that will allow them to scale their business. The fourth area we will offer help in, selecting the right tools. In order to deliver value, you need the right tech stack. Our platform will offer information on products that are the ideal choice for MSPs. The fifth area we will offer help in is with documentation. Templates are a critical component when building an MSP. We will have contracts, proposals, SOWs, collateral, and much more in the template section. You will have every document you need to start up your managed IT service business. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go to our next podcast. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into our podcast. I am your host, Fernando Leon, and I'm joined by my co-host, Gregory Moravietz. And today's topic, the elevator pitch. All right, this should be a good show because this is something that I used to have to give a lot when I'd be at networking events and just meeting CEOs at parties, meeting CEOs at mixers. I mean, there's just a lot of opportunities where I would have to do this elevator pitch. So I got a lot of experience in this area, but before we dive into the topic, let's get into the agenda real quick. So the first on the bullet here is knowing your audience. We'll also talk about what does a C or VP level type of executive, what do they want to hear? And what does a director or IT manager want to hear? Are we going to pitch value or services? Defining value. We'll also discuss define services with a splash of value. And then the elevator pitch, showcasing success stories. And then the qualification, next steps, meeting, right? So we'll go over each topic. So let's go into who your audience is. So if you're at a mixer and you know that, well, I guess the C or VP level, well, I guess the only way you'll know if it's a CEO if you ask, right? You have to ask. Like, you got to know, who are you talking to? Is it a CEO? Is it a VP? Is it a manager? Are they a director? Which industry are they in? If you're talking to somebody from Google, you'll know what size of company they are. But all of this factors into your elevator pitch. So there's no silver bullet for any industry. I mean, this is just you being comfortable, being confident, and pitching value, right? But the more you know, this is going to help with your like who you're talking to. You got to know who you're talking to. And you don't want to be talking to system administrators. I will say that. You just say hello. be polite, goodbye. I got to go find myself a CEO or some type, some VP or something. So, but you always deliver a message of value. And we'll go into defining what value is, what services are, and why you need to pitch value. Greg, any questions?
Why don't you want to talk to an IT manager?
Well, you know, an IT manager, it's okay to speak with an IT manager. I never said not to. Did I say
You
that?
said, yeah, get out of here, kid.
No, I said system administrator.
Okay, why don't you want to talk to a system administrator?
Because they have no authority, right? And the system administrator has no authority. You always start at the top. Always start at the top. Because if you're talking to, let's say you're talking to the CEO at a 500-person office, he's going to say, you know what, you got a great message. It's best that you talk to my IT manager. And I would respond with, great, Mr. CEO, I will absolutely do that. Would love to have you part of that conversation. Can I reference our conversation that you asked me to speak with your IT manager, right? Along those lines. I'm not going to hold my breath for a meeting with the IT manager because IT managers are they're threatened by by outsourced services, right? By MSPs. But if you position your organization in a non-threatening way, you can get in the door.
How do you be non-threatening?
I'm gonna share that with you, dog.
All right, share it.
All right. So what is a okay, so let's go into what a C or VP level, what do they want to hear? And this is without a doubt, okay? There's no doubt in my mind. C and VP level executives, at least the majority of them, they want to hear a message of value. And this is where customer-centric messages will resonate much further than a service or product centric message. Do you understand the difference?
I do.
Okay, just making sure. But for the audience, obviously, customer centric message is we resolve solutions that we provide solutions that keep our clients' networks secure. They don't have any compliance issues. Their data is safe, right? Or you could say, hey, my SIM product is a monitoring tool that interprets information from EDR, from XDR, from vulnerability scanning. It's so the dashboard is so user friendly, and it would be great for your organization. I mean, that's the difference, right? I mean, I pitched a service and a product, but I pitched a more customer centric type of message. And that's what C and VP levels want to hear. They want to hear that there's value in the offering, in your offering. So now you like I want to say, you do have two options. When you're talking to somebody, you have the option to pitch value or the option to pitch services. So keep in mind that this is really important that you keep this in mind. Your competition, at least what I've experienced, they're giving the same old message. We have been around for 2 decades. We deliver excellent tech services. We resolve computer issues, yada, yada, yada. If you want to blend in with every other MSP that's speaking with the C-level executive, go with services. Pitch services if you want to blend in. If you're that stubborn, do it. Okay. But if you're open to new ideas, if you're open to advice from guidance from executives that have been doing this for over 2 decades, who have been in meetings with hundreds of CEOs of organizations, that's the type of advice we're going to be providing at the MSP Corner, right? We want to teach you guys how to deliver value. There's a lot of you that have built solid IT firms, but you want to get to that next level. You want to get to that 7-8 figure level. So we want to get you guys there. And that's what we're going to be doing at the MSP Corner. We want to get you guys to that next level. So if you want to stand out to a CEO or a VP or a director, let's say at a medical office, let's just use medical because it's a great industry. You got to say the following: we deliver solutions that keep our clients' patients' data secure and their networks compliant. That is all value. Never did I say we're providing tech services or anything along those lines. But and I would expand on that. If there is a security breach alert on Christmas morning, my group is dealing with that potential threat within minutes, right? So if that CEO has security concerns, let's just say he does, and let's just say he doesn't, because it's going to be one or the other. He's going to, if he does have security concerns, or his group is so stretched that they've had a security breach and they don't know how they're going to solve it or what they're going to do because their budget's maxed out or whatever. They don't have the tools or experience in house. He's thinking about how is he going to solve that problem. He's got a problem, right? He's got a security problem. He's got a compliance problem. So by you pitching that at the right time, it's going to hit a nerve, right? It's not going to blend in with everybody else who provides tech services. It's going to resonate with that CEO because he's experiencing a problem. Now, let's take that same CEO and say he's happy. He's happy with his IT group. Doesn't matter what you're saying, right? You could be handing out diamonds. He's like, no, I got plenty of diamonds. I don't need diamonds. I don't need any more diamonds. I got diamonds coming out of my ears, right? So doesn't matter what you're pitching, but what does matter is that you do stand out. You need to stand out in all that static that's out there. You don't want to sound like static. You want to stand out among all the noise. All right. Clear enough? Greg, any
Right.
questions?
No, it's good.
Okay. All right. So here we go with the director and IT manager. What do they want to hear? Well, directors and managers, IT managers, they're a different breed, but they also want to hear value because they're getting tons of calls on all the services you have to offer, the greatest products you have in place, blah, blah, blah. But you need to deliver it in a non-threatening way. So I've included an example here. All right. So we provide our clients with a co-managed IT solution so their departments can stay focused on business initiatives rather than resolving annoying help desk calls, right? So you can go in with a co-managed solution, right? They're so inundated with requests, they want to offload that to somebody. So if that IT manager or director are in the market for a help desk, you might be pitching that service at the right time. And on the flip side is, hey, they're in great shape. So don't take no's as a your pitch sucks. That's not the case. It just they don't need it. Again, I got plenty of diamonds. I know you're handing out diamonds, but I got plenty of them. Right? They don't need it. They've got plenty. All right. So let's move on to what are you going to pitch? Value or services? Uh, um, why a customer-centric message or service dash product-centric message. What's the difference? I mean, I think we've gone over it enough, but value or a customer-centric message is going to give you the highest chance of winning the business. There's just it's like and I'll tell you who has who we always get approached by with a message of value. Marketing firms, right? They're like, do you want more leads? Of course I want more leads. What business doesn't want more leads, right? I want opportunities. And that's where marketing firms have the edge in this market. They know our biggest struggle. Our biggest struggle is getting new clients. So they know, okay, we're gonna exploit that position they're in because they always need leads. So that's our pitch. Do you want more customers? All right, yeah, of course. All right, let's talk. Let's set up a meeting. You got to think the same way with your prospective clients. A service pitch, it's going to position your firm with every other IT service firm out there. There's no differentiator. You got to stand out, like I was saying, from all that static. There's so much static out there. You got to learn, how am I going to stand out? And These are going to be great conversations in our expert corner. We're building this community on the MSP corner where CEOs can come in and talk to us every month. There's no fee, there's no obligation. We're not trying to sell you anything, but we want you to be part of a community where we all help each other. But that's what Gregory and I are here for. Gregory's on the operations side, I'm on the sales and marketing side. And I've been doing this far too long to that I'm happy to share my experience and give you feedback on your approach. All right. Defining value. Well, value is focusing on tangible benefits and outcomes. Do not be vague with your statement. Don't say, "Oh, we provide solutions that or we provide we reduce our clients' IT overhead by 50%." All right, that's a vague statement because you gotta have like a defining. What do you mean by you reduce it by 50%? Is that within a year, 10 years, 5 years? What is it? Right? You got to say we reduce IT costs by 50% within 90 days. Right? Have a timeline. We increase quality of service without, or we increase efficiencies without sacrificing quality of service. Always have a follow up to your statement. So remember, like I was saying, I'm handing out diamonds. I got plenty of diamonds, and this is like the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I came up with value is in the eye of the beholder. You can give the best customer centric message to a CEO, but if he's not in the market, you're not going to gain a perspective opportunity. It's not going to be an opportunity you can chase after, right? You can ask to stay in touch, but this is all about timing. Are they in the market? I get they either are or they're not. And if that CEO, it's like being happy in a marriage, right? If he's happy in a marriage with the MSP in place, there's no way you're going to gain a new client, regardless if you can sell sand in the desert. Doesn't matter. It's a very tough opportunity. And some of you might be struggling with rejection. You got to embrace rejection, right? Nothing is nothing worth having is anything worth having is earned. You don't want to just be handed things. So, and that's the thing with cold calling. I've made thousands and thousands of cold calls, and I had to put my time in before I succeeded in that area. So, all right. So, defining services with a splash of value. And this pitch is primarily for directors and managers because that you got to position yourself with in a non-threatening way, and we already discussed it earlier because everything needs to have a co-managed spin. You want to make life easier on them and their team. And you need to have a non-threatening approach. There's just no way around it. Or you're just going to be pounding sand. And you don't want to waste your time. So let's move on to the elevator pitch and how you can use it to showcase success stories because nothing speaks louder than real world results. And incorporating success stories and case studies into your pitch can provide concrete evidence of your MSP's value proposition and highlighting past successes and illustrating how your services have delivered measurable outcomes, right? We just mentioned that measurable outcomes and how you can use other clients only lends credibility to your pitch, and this helps instill confidence in your ability to deliver results. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. Measurable results, key operative word there. All right. So now let's say we're going to move on to the qualification, which then, and depending on the outcome, you go to the next steps and then hopefully a meeting. Because after you give a pitch, You just need to ask one or two questions. And this all depends on the answer. So you need to be prepared to pivot, okay? So after you give your pitch, you need to ask them a question. Are you happy with your current IT group? Do you feel there is room for improvement? Right? And if he says, you know what, I'm not happy with my IT group. Why are you unhappy? What's going on? Well, it seems like every month it's a different cost. Ooh, that should be music to your ears. That's where you say, well, you know what? We provide our clients with a fixed model cost, right? Everything's predictable. There's no guesswork. There's no hourly rates. And before any of you jump down my throat, projects are not part of MSP services, guys. Upgrades, migrations, onboarding, those are separate. Those are projects because there's no defined parameters, and that's your fallback. You can't be Clients cannot expect projects to be included because you don't know how long it's going to take, what's all involved, the skill set, the timelines, blah blah. I mean, there's so many reasons. So, and if you're talking to a CEO at a medical office, do you have security or compliance concerns? Right? And depending on the answer, you guys need to be ready to come up with a response. So, I have my IT bill is different every month. Well, you know what, Mr. CEO, we have our model is predictable, right? We have a predictable fixed cost monthly fee for all of our clients. We All we need to do is evaluate your environment. We want to make sure there's no gaps. Well, what's a gap? Backup. Backup's a great gap. We don't want you to have issues. We want to be able to restore data in the event you have a problem. You don't have EDR, you don't have a firewall, or you don't have any endpoint protection for your computers. That's a gap because we want to implement best practices so you don't have problems. Let me ask you something, Mr. CEO. Do you want your end users to have computer problems, to be on tech support calls, or do you want them making your company money? Right? You want them to be productive. You want them to be making your organization continue to, making them revenue. So, what do you prefer? So you got to put it back on them so they answer their own question. Obviously, they're going to say, yes, I want my workers being productive. Well, you need to follow our guidance, right? So after you finish that conversation, you need to immediately say, when are we going to meet? When can we start? When can we continue this discussion? When are you available? You should pop out your phone and say, look, I'm available next week at 2 p.m. Are you available? Oh, you're not? Okay, what about Wednesday? 2 p.m., 9 a.m., whatever. What's convenient for you? So now let's say he's happy. Oh, it appears you're happy with your current group. What is your email and number? I'd like to stay in touch. Don't ask them if you can have it. Say it. B, take command of the conversation. What is your email and phone number? I would love to stay in touch because you know what? You might not be happy next year. You might not be happy in next quarter. I would love to give you my contact information so it's handy. You can always give me a call if you have any concerns. Even if you want to hey, you want to go have lunch? Great. Let me know. You have a question. If you feel your IT group isn't giving you a straight answer, call me up. Phone calls are free. All right. I'm happy to give you input, give you a little guidance, right? You want to build rapport, guys. This is about building rapport, trust, credibility. What fosters long-term relationships. This is about relationships, not a one-time transaction. And then, hey, we'll see you next year for that transaction again. No, this is about building long-term relationships. Gregory and I have been working with companies for decades, all right? Because we build relationships. Now, Greg, that's my last slide. What do you have anything else you you want to talk about?
No, that's good stuff. That's right. You want to try to steer away from a product, try to go more towards a service that adds value.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap for us. I appreciate you guys listening, and don't forget to sign up to be a member. On my next podcast, I think we're going to talk about cold calling, the script, the value you pitch, even on a cold call. You're always pitching value. You're never talking about services. All right. Don't forget to sign up to be a member, mspcorner.com. Please share our link with a CEO or an owner who will find our information beneficial. And you can always email me at sales at mspcorner.com. All right. Have a great day. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to sign up to be a member on www.mspcorner.com. Please share our link with a CEO who will find our information beneficial to their business. Have an awesome day.